Farmers Coaches Show, sponsored by High Tire, where your dollar goes further, and so do your tires. And it seems like we had a long time ago where we played basketball. We played Altus last Friday. It seems like it's farther than last Friday, but went down there last week and split a pair of games, Dakota. The girls, unfortunately, dropped another game, and the boys, just kind of put it on cruise control in that second half, and one going away by 14 over against not a really good Altus team.
Oh, yeah, I mean, both teams are doing pretty well, and the boys obviously coming off a 12-game winning streak, and Jesus Cano, you said he had a pretty good night, and I think that when we go to Clinton to host Clinton on Tuesday, it's going to be a pretty good district tournament. Yeah,
and that's another bummer in our holster this week is we were supposed to play Clinton last night for the last game of the regular season. Turns out the last game of the regular season was at Altus because of Old Man Winter.
Yeah, I mean, the snowstorm, and it's just been the downfall. Seems like a lot of games are getting canceled over the season, and I'm just looking forward to Tuesday.
Well, yeah, not playing Clinton last night is probably okay because guess who you have for districts? You got Clinton.
Yeah.
You can't get rid of the tornadoes. I mean, they're just like a gnat. They just linger, above your head, and you just swat them away. They come back. I mean, it's just you have them for districts, and you probably wanted to get a different team for districts, but that's who you got. You got to play the teams in front of you. The girls lost a narrow one to Clinton, the first game of that series this year, 36-32, without Carmela Jefferson. She's coming back, so that's another cog in their team that's coming back. And then the boys, it was a tight game, but that's also one of the games that we'll talk about later. Caden Corneli just absolutely went unconscious, and boys won going away 79-63. So I think for both Woodward teams, I think they feel good with who they got as in districts. They could have got a lot worse, or they could have got somebody, not so good, and they could have just walked into regional. But I think they feel good about who we have in front of us, and we're also hosting at Boomer Fieldhouse next Tuesday.
And with us hosting, it's going to be crazy and ecstatic in there with all the fans, cheering, just like when Caden Corneli hit that buzzer beater versus Guyman. I feel like it's going to be that same outcome coming this Tuesday.
And I hope I don't blow people's eardrums once again, because I know I was getting a little too excited when he just kept hitting every shot. Every shot went in. It didn't hit the net. It was just pure. He was just on fire. It's the NBA 2K back in the 1990s when you played on Sega. I know we're really dating myself, but there was when the player kept hitting shots, he goes, he's on fire, and the ball started catching on fire every time he shot the ball through the hoop. So I know I'm dating myself to you guys. You're like,
office. To find out more about how counterfeits can cause real danger to you and your family, visit ncpc.org/go for real.
Go for real. With subject matter so important, even he
I'm Rush Limbaugh.
gets the jitters.
I'm feeling stage fright. There's so much I want to say, and I want to say it correctly. I want to do it right. And I've found in circumstances like this that the best thing to do is not to think about it.
So, weekdays at 11, he may be picturing you in your underwear.
Don't make it more pressure-packed than it already is.
Rush on the Tri-States News Talk Station, C92.
And welcome back to Long Shots Bar and Grill. Brock Campbell alongside the coach.
Good. How are you?
Good. Well, girls, we're on a bit of a slide here lately, unfortunately, and lost 4 of our out of our last 8 games, and only won 5 of our last 12 since the new year. I'm going to ask both of you. I'll start with Kloey. What does this team need to do to get refocused with districts coming up next week?
I think we just need to practice well, get our momentum going in practice with energy, and focus in on our opponents, what we can do to beat them, and what we need to do to improve.
I think we need to forget about the losses in the past and look ahead to our future games, because in playoffs it doesn't matter like what your record is, it's who shows up to play. And I think if we're just focused and we worry about the opponent that we're playing and like focus on that game that day, then I think we will be more successful.
That's a good way to look at it. Everybody's 0-0, when we start Tuesday. So, Madison, next question to you. After the Christmas break, we've obviously struggled. We mentioned that already. Do you think having that break in the season has where the team was quarantined or having some games canceled in the middle of the season has led to this team being a little rusty and maybe stopped our early momentum?
Yes, I think at the beginning of the year we were going into every game like knowing that we had to show up and compete, and we were winning. And then after Christmas break, we kind of had that break. And then the first game we lost, like, out of the new year, I think it kind of got, like, our discouraged down, because that was a team that we, like, could have beat if we would have played well. And I think that, like, got our momentum down, and we just haven't found a way to pick it back up yet.
I'm going to ask this question to both of you next, and I'll start with Kloey. What have practice been let me try talk here. What have practices been like this week and last week? Have they been more intense? Are there more urgency? Is there any differences to the practice leading up to District say than rather earlier in the season?
Yeah, early on in the season we usually do a lot of like conditioning and just fundamental drills, but this late in the season we focus a lot on our offense and what we can do to get the the ball in the hole. And so we've been breaking down our offense a lot, playing a lot of 5-on-5 against our scout team and figuring out how we can beat their defense and find their weaknesses.
What are you seeing in practices leading up to districts here, Madison?
Lately we've been doing more game-like situations like to our opponent, so we've been breaking down what we'll see against Clinton, and we're doing more like live situations, which I think is helping. And we've just been like going like picking little things and focusing on them to help like our overall goal of winning.
Well, Kloey, as a senior leader, we have, I think, 3 on the team, seniors, correct?
4.
4. Sorry, I missed one. What are you telling the team right now to get them out of the slump? Because it's still a young team, and we'll only have 4 seniors. But so what is your role? What are you telling the team? Because obviously your leadership and Madison's leadership and the other 2 seniors' leadership are going to be key to, starting next week.
I mean, we've been saying a lot, like, this is our last time to play Altus ever, this is our last time to play Guyman ever, but right now we're really on them, like, this could be the end of our season, and if you don't want to do it for you, do it for us. But we've been encouraging them, like, they're young, but they can be good, and they're very capable, and they're very athletic, and they have a lot of potential. So when they miss shots and when they turn the ball over, like, we've been on them, like, you're all right, you can do this, I believe in you.
I got a question for you, Kloey. Off the court, you're known as Miss Woodward, but when it's game time, the switch flips and you're a fierce competitor. How do you flip the personality?
I don't know. That's a good question. I'm a really competitive person, so in Miss Woodward, I took that pretty serious too. But I just like to go out and have fun. I've been telling the team we play better when we have fun and when we have high energy. So I just go out there and I be myself, very energetic, and I'm cheering people on. That's what I like to do, and I think we play better that way.
Madison, go. My turn. Madison, what, in your opinion, your own personal opinion, what is the one thing that this team can do to get back on track and make a postseason run?
I think if we start playing as fast as what we were at the beginning of the season, that'll get us back on track. Because at the beginning of the year, we were getting like easy layups because we ran so fast and we tired out the other team. And I think lately we've been relying on our half-court defense, and we haven't been trusting like playing as fast as what we used to. Because after Christmas break, I think we like doubted playing fast again. And so I think if we play fast and get those easy layups, it'll help us make the harder shots later in the game.
Well, this is for both of you. Let's talk about Altus game on Friday. I'm sure you both are glad that you won't have to see Lakeisha Johnson ever again.
Yeah.
I mean, she's a great player. We highlighted that during the game. Breaking the 2,000-point barrier for her career is just amazing in 4 years. But let's talk about the game. What signs of encouragement did you see from the team during that game, and what do you think still needs to be improved going into Clinton?
I think going into Clinton, we need to get defensive boards better, block out, and even get offensive boards, crashing backside. But I think that we helped, like when the ball went inside to the post, we helped very well and we doubled down. That's still something we need to work and improve on, but that's a thing that we've been talking about in practice, and I saw improvement on that from the Altus game to games before.
Got anything to add, Madison?
I think when we played Altus, we kind of got back to playing faster because she was so fast, and I think we saw like good looks that we just need to like execute against Clinton.
Well, the one thing that we need to see happen more is the ball go through the hoop.
Mm-hmm.
And have you ever heard this phrase, shooter's going to shoot? Okay. Is that something that you guys are both telling yourself and your team going into the ball game? Because shooters don't they can only shoot out of a slump if they shoot the basketball.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot be afraid to not shoot the basketball. Is that something you're really kind of hammering into the brains going into this game?
Yeah, we've been telling girls we need to get in the gym before and after practice on the weekends because the ball's got to get in there somehow. And what we're doing right now is not working. So we've been talking about getting extra shots up during practice and when we can. But I also think shooting during a game, you can't score unless you shoot it. So we've been practicing getting into the posts and in and out shots. Those usually seem to hit better for us. So.
What about also, maybe getting to the free throw line more? Because this team can shoot free throws, and that's where we can get some free points, because they're free throws. What about that?
I think when we get to the free throw line, we've got to be confident because those are free points. And I think if we find ways to get to the free throw line, that'll build our confidence because that's a easy shot that we can focus on making. And then the more we make, we'll get more comfortable and we'll get more confident in shooting the outside shots and the contested block shots.
Well, girls, I appreciate you coming on. Good luck on Tuesday, and we'll talk to you down the road.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was seniors Kloey Marlatt and Madison Gartrell. On the other side of the break, we're going to have the girls' head coach, Lloyd Vetter, join us. You're listening to the Boomers Coaches Show on Z92.
Why watch the big games alone when you could stop by Longshots Bar and Grill to catch all the action? Longshots offers the best entertainment in Northwest Oklahoma and is open Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., Saturday, 11 a.m. to 2 a.m., and Sunday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Enjoy live music, great food, and drinks while you catch all the big games. There's always fun to be had at Longshots Bar and Grill. Call 580-256-1467 to book your next birthday bash or big reunion, then come on down to 810 Main Street to party with Longshots Bar and Grill.
The strength of America, our values, our way of life hasn't just been won on the battlefield. It's won every day in our communities when we come together, extending hands of compassion, service, and hope to those who need it most. For over 100 years, the American Legion has been strengthening communities across our nation by providing life-saving help and support to our veterans and neighbors during times like we're facing today.
It's what the Legion's all about.
From blood drives to distributing food, from responding to emergencies and protecting the most vulnerable among us. Our mission is making America's communities stronger.
We are one family, and therefore we care.
We are the American Legion, Veterans Strengthening America. To learn how you can help, visit legion.org.
Sure, it can be uncomfortable.
I want to cry.
Cause tears.
When you look at election law, voting irregularities.
But somebody's got to do it.
There were very few of us that were willing to unpeel the layers of the onion.
That somebody is Sean Hannity.
But the mob and the media didn't break any of those stories.
Peeling back the layers and getting to the truth.
That's so difficult.
Tears and all.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Weekdays at 2 on the Tri-States News Talk Station, Z92.
And welcome back to Live from Long Shots. Brock Campbell alongside Dakota Wagner. Boomers Coach Show rolls on with Coach Vetter, Lloyd Vetter, joining us now. And Coach, how are you doing this evening? There you go.
There we go. Trying to thaw out like everybody else. So
oh,
it's been crazy.
You got that, and we need to thaw out this team right now because we're kind of in a slump right now, losing 4 of your last 8, 5 of your last 12. What do you think is the reason for that, and what can you do to fix it and get back on that winning track?
I'll tell you, it boils down to putting the ball in the basket. When you're shooting, 2-point range, especially inside the paint, you're shooting, 6 of 25, 6 of 30, and you're shooting 6 of 24 from threes. You just dig yourself a hole. The shots are there. They just got to start finding ways for them to, finally hit its mark. And we shoot all the time, different type of drills and different type of situations and so forth. And you just hope sooner or later. I've been in droughts before, but never anything like this. So this is perplexing to say the least.
Well, let's talk about Altus. You played them tough in the first half, but ultimately they won going away 56-33. Lakeisha Johnson, your second time to see her, she finished with 28 points. Brianna McQuiggan got in the second half and finished with 15. She got hot. What led to those breakdowns in the second half that allowed them to get those points?
Well, holding her to 28, I'll take any
big
day.
Time. Yeah.
But, defensive assignments blown, leaving, the other one, I just call her 3. Open, that was the one we was like, let anybody else shoot outside, but don't let her. We did not do a good job rotating over to it. And when you leave a good shooter wide open that she can take her time, you're in trouble.
What was the message to your team after the game, and what do you say to a struggling team that it's there, but they just have to find it again?
Well, it boils down to just you got to find a way. And I've told them a couple of times now. Outside of that game, we're holding people, to around 38 points a game. You should win those. I said, and I know when we left Clinton, I said sometimes it's time to look in the mirror and say, what have I done to try to get myself going? What did I do in the off season and so forth? And you just got to just play through it. And like I say, sooner or later you got to hope. Whether I have to order a Jobu doll or something. We've got to find something to break this curse that we've have. So as far as shooting.
Jobu needs a refill. Is that what you're telling me right now?
Well, Jobu, or then the other deal. I've had a player before. We're driving down the road and we were in a slump. She sees chickens in the road. She goes, "Coach, go sacrifice a chicken." You hit that bus.
Oh gosh.
And just laughing and stuff. But seriously, sometimes you're just thinking what you do to break this. Because you're getting good looks and the ball's not going in the hole. You can only play defense for so long.
One player that has really started to come on is Thessley. Thessley has really had a nice couple of games. Talk about her the last couple of games and what she's doing more of to get more involved in the game.
Well, one thing. Of course, the other night she wasn't feeling well, so we didn't have her most of the third quarter, and that's when they finally pulled away from us, because she was so active. She was getting out and getting steals, getting out on the break, for us, and she just brings so much to the table with her athleticism. And we've talked to her about it, I've talked to her several times about, hey, take over, the shot's there, go for it. You're very athletic. Whatever you can do to create, go and do it. And if it doesn't fall, keep going. Because she's definitely got the tools to do it.
We just talked to Madison and Kloey, and they admitted that the confidence has been shaken since after Christmas break. And I heard a quote the other day that doubt your fears. And I think that needs to mean maybe something this team needs to kind of, maybe their mantra, meaning they're fearful to get beat, but if they don't doubt their fears, they're not going to come on top. Is that something that maybe you believe in or preach in?
But, I've heard something, similar to that, and it's not that, very seldom do I tell them don't take the shot.
Yeah.
But sometimes it seems like they, of course, if you like when we play Clinton, if you notice, they're shooting free throws. They're putting 4 people back in the paint. I mean, if you look at the scouting report is don't let them get out and run, get back, and force them to shoot the outside shot, and so, hopefully we find a way to that finally falls, because we're running out of time and running out of excuses.
Well, let's talk about Clinton. We're going to have them for districts on Tuesday night. And first question I want to ask you, you're not playing, over a week and almost a half. How do you think the girls are going to respond? And Clinton's going to have that same thing as well. It might be a rusty game in the first half.
Yeah, it quite possibly could be. When you look back since we went on break for Christmas, had to quarantine, we just never got on a road. And, we play a couple of games, all of a sudden we were lose a game, because of COVID or whatever, and then now it's been the weather. And, when you can't get on a roll, sometimes those slumps just keep going. So hopefully, both teams, like you say, have been sitting out now probably 11 or 12 days before we play, and we're just going to have to see how it looks once we lace up the shoes and get out on the floor.
Well, last time we played Clinton, they beat us 38-32 at their place. Lovelace and Hester were the leading scorers. They're also getting their point guard back. I heard Carmela Jefferson, who is a scorer as well, but she's mainly a facilitator. What are going to be some of the keys to that game? And they also hurt us on the boards that game, too. What are going to be some of the keys to that game for us to get out a win? And hosting districts at home, that's where you want it. You want to win at home.
Well, first of all, if you look back at that game, we got to make the 5 layups that we missed. Yeah. If you do that, then it takes care of itself, because, you play good enough defense to win. Mm-hmm. But, once again, I know the young lady, she's got the tools and stuff, but, for her, she's been out quite a while. How is she going to be apprehensive playing with a shield, a face shield with a broken jaw and so forth? So you never know. But, once again, we've got to do a better job. We didn't rotate well. When you think about, we only gave up, 37, 38, and some of them were free throws down the stretch. But then when you sit there and you start watching film about not rotating and giving up wide open shots, so we've been, today we've spent time, breaking down our defense and how we need to be shifting and so forth. So hopefully that plays good for us, come next Tuesday now.
What about getting to the free throw line more? Because this team's a really good free throw shooting team, and those are just free points. Is that kind of an emphasis?
Well, I would love to, but that's the thing. People pack a zone on you. You're only going to get so many attacks, because they're going to give you that open look. I love it when people play us man, because we can spread the floor and attack them. But when they're going to pack it, once again, you've got to find ways. And we've talked about, don't sit there when you catch the ball with it above your head. Break it down, triple threat, try to get past them. If a girl's running at you, shot fake, either step by her and pull up, or try to draw the foul. And especially the ones that shoot the free throws well, they definitely need to be looking to attack somebody somehow, some way.
Well, Coach, I appreciate you coming on. We will eventually play on Tuesday night. It's coming up.
Yeah, I think it's actually supposed to be warm by then.
It's supposed to be in the 60s, 50s, or 60s next week.
If it just thaws out, maybe it'll be good for us.
Well, Coach, I appreciate you coming on. Good luck on Tuesday. We'll talk to you down the road.
Thanks.
That was girls head coach Lloyd Vetter. On the other side of the break, we're going to talk to a couple of the Boomer players. That's going to be the seniors, Caleb Landess and Kenyon Lanham. You're listening to the Boomers Coaches Show on Z92.
With Earth as your playground, you can have fun for a while, but you need tires that can hold up. The all-new BF Goodrich All-Terrain TA KO2 offers a tread life twice as long on gravel and 15% longer on asphalt. It's BF Goodrich's toughest all-terrain tire ever, and it's ready for the longest of winters. Head to High Plains Tire at 2220 Main Street in Woodward and get ready to extend your adventure with the new BF Goodrich All-Terrain TA KO2 tire. BF Goodrich. Take control. See your dealer or visit bfgoodrichtires.ca for details.
I've got muscular dystrophy. That means my muscles are weak and it can be hard to breathe.
Now is a scary time for everyone, as we are at a higher risk for respiratory infections.
In good times and bad, the Muscular Dystrophy Association helps kids live with neuromuscular disease. The pandemic places more than 200,000 adults and children with muscular dystrophy at a greater risk.
Breathing is often hard when you live with a neuromuscular disease.
But the Muscular Dystrophy Association is here to help.
MDA is what ensures they receive critical medical care at one of over 150 care centers across the U.S.
During COVID-19, kids like me are at a greater risk.
The Muscular Dystrophy Association needs your support now more than ever.
COVID-19 won't stop us. To learn how you can help, please visit helpmda.org. Thank you.
When it feels like the world has stopped, good finds a way. Good connects us, even when we can't get close. Good never stops, and neither does Children International. We help provide children and families with essentials like food assistance, hygiene education, medical help, and financial support. To learn more, go to children.org/help today.
And welcome back to the Boomers Coaches Show here at Long Shots Bar and Grill in downtown historic Woodward. Brock Campbell alongside Dakota Wagner, joined by seniors now, Caleb Landess and Kenyon Lanham. How you guys doing?
Doing good.
Good. Well, welcome, and congrats on another win against Altus last week. This team is on a 12-game winning streak, believe it or not. Haven't lost since the week capital against an Oklahoma City Knights team, and by the way, shouldn't have lost to that ball game.
Oh, yeah. No.
Lost to that team by 1 in overtime. How fun is it right now to be part of this team?
It's the best.
It's great. We're playing hard.
Even if you don't play a bunch, it's still just a
Well,
good
I know
time.
it's fun with this guy because I've seen him cheer on the sideline, even when
So it
he's
makes
not
it
in the
fun.
game. And with that towel and everything, he's the biggest cheerleader on that sideline. So it's got to be fun to sit on the bench with him while you're watching the ball game. So, well, this is questions for both of you. I'll let Caleb take the first one. Let's talk about the Altus game. Kind of put it on cruise control in the second half and still won 58-44. I think our last quarter we only scored 6 points in the fourth. You both got into the game in the second half. Talk about what your role is on this team when you get on the court, and how do you help the team?
I mean, for me, it's just rebounding. Like, I'm not going to score often, but with my length, I mean, I just got to try and get boards, scare them, get it up to our point guard so we can push the floor.
I know that you're not going to score often, but when you do get in, they get you the ball, and they want you to score because I think you've scored a couple times when we're on the broadcast, and that bench just lights up. How special does that make you feel?
It just makes me feel great, you know, all the support that they give me for all that.
Kenyon, what's your role? You've been getting a lot of playing time, more playing time here lately, and especially against Clinton, you'll probably get some playing time because Coach went bigger against that bigger lineup with you in. I think second quarter, and you played a lot of the second half.
Well, I think it's just trying to get a bigger guy down low, more physical dude down there against Caden Powell. That's basically just my job, just to get big and get boards, I guess.
I made a comment to Dakota on the broadcast, and I was wondering if you went up to Caden and say, hey, do you remember me from September?
I did. I was like, I almost sacked you. Didn't get it, though. I almost did.
Well, congrats on making the All-Star football team here. First of all, Kenyon, and congrats on the honorable mention for the Oklahoma All-State team. Let's describe your one job as a senior on this team. You don't, like I said, you don't get much playing time, but when you do, you're still a key factor. Talk about that. What are you wanting to bring to the team? You mentioned the size, but what else do you want to bring to the team once you get on that court?
Well, we're kind of having trouble with people taking charges, and that's just I always yell at them like, take a charge. So when I go out there, I'm just going to take a charge. Why not?
You're trying to be Colton Simmel.
I'm trying to help. Trying to do what I can while I'm in there.
So that actually brings me to a question. You went up against Caden Powell, great athlete. He was good size matchup for both of you. How was it outsmarting him to take that charge call?
Well, I just know he's going to come into me because, he's a big physical football player or whatever. I know he's going to come into me, so just take a charge.
He doesn't stop. You're right. He's not. He's one of those guys that he's going to come at you no matter what. He'll take the charge or he'll get a block. But once you took, I think, 2 charges in that game, that second charge, he was visibly frustrated, and I'm sure you were just laughing inside.
Yeah, I was pretty hyped about the second one.
Well, Caleb, let's talk. Is there anything you watch for during the games when you're on the bench to kind of pick up from the other team? So when you do get your chance to go in, you're ready to, whatever they throw at you, you're ready?
I mean, we just like to look at like how tired they get because our conditioning, we've gotten such good conditioning that, like Clinton, they were on their knees second quarter, and you just love to look at them and see that and encourage our guys to just keep running them out.
What did I say there, partner? Did I say that?
Yeah.
Trell Bryson.
Yeah, and Caden.
The running back for Clinton was bent over on his knees with his hands on his knees in that second half, and that's when I was like, they're done. They're just done. I mean, how satisfying is that, knowing that our press does that to people And you guys are not even really winded.
Yeah.
It's just a good feeling to see that.
Yeah. Feels good. All the hard work that we put in over off season, all the running we do, just really feels good when we see other
teams. It wears me out. I'm a big boy, and I'm getting tired just watching it. So.
Oh, you should see me at practice.
Caleb, you've came a long way since your freshman year. What was that grind like to step up your game and be a really key player when it comes down to the minutes you got?
I mean, it's just, what coaches had me do, just all that running, all that off-season work like Kenyon was saying. It's just it's put me in that position to get better.
Well, let's talk about Clinton. You got them coming up. Long layoff, unfortunately, due to the weather. With the long layoff, do you think I'm gonna ask both of you guys, whoever wants to take it first. Do you think the long layoff is going to have any effect on our team not playing in a week and a half?
I don't think so. I think it's going to help us, if anything. We're just going to get to run more and get to build up our mentality before the game and come out there and run them off the court.
What about you?
I just think, we get more time to practice on our court before they have to come up here.
Yeah.
And then since they pushed it back to Tuesday, they have to go to school and then travel up here. So I just think it'll be better for us in the long run.
Well, Kenyon, we're going to talk not basketball now. I understand you're quite the musician. Talked to you offline last night. Let's hear more about that. I'm kind of curious. You said you got a crew that you do music with.
We have a music group.
Nice.
Whoa Boys. We're out of Woodward. It's just me and my friends. We all just love making music.
Hey, maybe Whoa Boys will be something big. Don't knock it.
Hopefully.
So
we have a new song.
What kind of music?
It's like rap, hip hop, R&B type of that. Like all made from scratch.
Is there one lead singer, or are you just?
Well, it's 3 rappers and 2 producers.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I'm like a singer rapper.
Singer rapper.
I sing more than I rap, but.
There you go. Okay. Well, Caleb, let's talk about you. What do you do for fun when you're not playing basketball?
Well, kind of just hanging out with the boys. That's about it. Doing homework. Not much.
Homework is not fun.
No.
But you got to do it.
But you got to do it. Anything else outside? Do you do any outside sports, hunting, fishing, anything like that?
Do a little practice for tennis coming up.
Yeah, forgot you played tennis.
Nice. How long have you been playing tennis?
Since my freshman year.
Nice. That's another sport that tires me out watching it. And then this action. I can only watch certain tennis. I can watch like the Wimbledon, and French Open, and the major tournaments. But other than that, no, not really didn't get into it. Let's talk about both of you now. You're seniors. Kenyon, I know that you already announced where you're going to college, right? No, you haven't.
Not yet.
So what schools are in the running?
SWASU, UCO, Northwestern, Fort Hayes. I think that's it.
And for football, right?
Yeah, football.
So defensive or offensive?
Offensive, all offensive.
Oh, so you're going to be offensive line?
Yeah.
Okay. When are you planning to make that decision?
I don't know, honestly.
You have to let us know so we can broadcast it for you.
Okay.
But what about you, Caleb? What's your college plans?
I think I'm just planning on going to Northwestern and then going to OU for just a degree in meteorology.
Oh, really? Ooh. Weather. So what do you think about the weather so far here the last couple of weeks? Do you prefer tornadoes or snow?
Give us a forecast.
Tornadoes over snow.
A lot better to look at and chase.
Yes.
So do you want to be a chaser?
I wouldn't mind it. Prefer to kind of be on TV than anything.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're going to – down here the low is coming. It's going to hit us. You want to do that, right?
Yeah.
The green screen, the suits and all
One
that?
of the pretty boys on there.
The pretty boys. Hey, don't knock it. Meteorology is a good occupation. So, Well, guys, I appreciate you coming on here tonight. Good luck against Clinton on Tuesday. We'll talk to you down the road.
Thank you.
Alrighty.
That was seniors Caleb Landess and Kenyon Lanham. On the other side of the break, we're going to talk to the head man himself. That is Coach Jeff Williamson. Get his thoughts about Altus and the upcoming game at Districts with Clinton. You're listening to the Boomers Coaches Show on Z92.
Why watch the big games alone when you could stop by Longshots Bar and Grill to catch all the action? Longshots offers the best entertainment in Northwest Oklahoma and is open Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., Saturday, 11 a.m. to 2 a.m., and Sunday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Enjoy live music, great food, and drinks while you catch all the big games. There's always fun to be had at Longshots Bar and Grill. Call 580-256-1467 to book your next birthday bash or big reunion, then come on down to 810 Main Street to party with Longshots Bar and Grill.
James Brown and Bill Cowher welcoming you back to Dennis Melvin's house. It's time for the Midnight Snack Run.
This is one tricky obstacle course. Sticking to healthy habits in this kitchen is going to take focus and determination, but it can be done, JB.
He's already entered the snack part of the course, and he's eyeballing a jar of chocolatey candy.
That is tempting right off the start.
Uh-oh, he's reaching, Bill, but he pushes it away.
Great stiff arm.
He's approaching a plate of delicious-looking iced cookies.
Oh, Dennis, you only want one of those.
He blows right by him for the apple.
Oh, the fridge. It's make or break time, JB.
He stares down some rich-looking treats. Uh-oh, looks like he's headed for the soda. Wait, he jukes left, grabs the water bottle, and shuts the door with his elbow in record time.
Unbelievable move. I gotta see that again.
And he's out. He even turned off the light.
That's the way you execute a midnight snack run.
Stand Up to Cancer and Rally want you to reduce your risk for cancer.
Go to takeahealthystand.org.
I started using when I was 13.
Taylor is in recovery from an addiction to prescription opioids.
It was like, oh, well, they're medications. They can't be that dangerous. My perception was once you stop using, like, that's it. Your life is over. I didn't even realize that I needed help until, like, the day that I got arrested. I have been able to accomplish a lot in my recovery. I just want to be happy, and I want to thrive in my life.
If you or someone you know is struggling, there is hope. Recovery is possible. Visit cdc.gov/RxAwareness.
And welcome back to Boomer's Coaches Show here live from Longshots Bar and Grill in downtown historic Woodward. And joining me right now, along with Dakota Wagner, is Coach Jeff Williamson. How you doing, Coach?
Gentlemen, how are you?
We're good. We're thawing out. It's amazing that 19 degrees was a heat wave today.
It actually felt pretty good.
I know. I like took off clothing. I took my coat off. I'm like, well, let's say the coat, not clothing.
Yeah.
But I just took my coat off. I was like, oh, this is like summer.
Yeah. Whenever it's -10 outside and then the next day it's 19, it actually feels pretty good.
And you're from West Virginia originally,
yes.
so do you get that cold there?
Very rarely does it ever get that cold. So it was definitely cold for me. So I know everybody else out here was definitely cold.
That polar vortex can go away. Congrats on finishing the season. I know you've got a different number, but I have to be official. 17-2 is the official number.
Yeah, you're good. You're good because everybody's official number is different.
That's true.
But as the head coach, we're officially 20-2 because people don't want to come play us, and our guys have lost home games and seniors have lost games, and so that's the consolation.
Yeah, but the OSSA is not giving those wins out like they did with football. They didn't give us the forfeits. But
no comment.
I will say I agree with you that we are 22, but we're on a 12-game winning streak as well, which is awesome. Let's talk about the Altus game from last Friday. Played a lot of guys. That was good to see in the second half when you just kind of put it on cruise control. What was your overall thoughts in that game?
Well, I think whenever you look at the stats and you're 1 for 27 from the three-point line, you're lucky to get out of there. And again, we had a big lead at halftime. And so we're able to rotate guys in and out and be able to put in cruise control in the second half. And I think if you watch us, you're going to be able to look at our team and say we play to our competition, unfortunately. We've had some games where we haven't had stellar opponents, and it's been a dogfight at times, and then we've played teams that are really good, and we've been able to beat them by double digits. So, as long as we come to play Tuesday, I feel comfortable.
The good thing about getting out of Altus this year, we got out of there with a win.
Yes.
We did not win there last year.
Exactly.
Played one of our worst games of the season.
Yes.
And even playing a lackluster game with this team, that just tells you how special this team is this year.
Yes, and that's when you look at our schedule, I think our last loss was January 7th at the week capital, first round of the week capital.
The Knights, yep.
When you look at the games we've played, we've been able to win big. We've been able to win close. We've been able to win late. We've been able to be down and come back. We've been able to win and not play very well at all. We've been able to win at the buzzer. And I think to be successful, you got to find ways to win, multiple ways to win. And as long as we're able to do that and keep our morale up, I think the sky's the limit.
Well, obviously, you're going to have the Max Cheapses of the world and Caden Cornelius of the world here lately. But the person I want to highlight from last Friday is Junior Jesus Cano.
Yes.
My goodness. He had 8 points, but what stood out to me was not his offense, is what he brought his presence on defense. Rebounds, blocks, or just getting an arm up in somebody's way. Jesus really had one heck of a game defensively that Altus really had no answer for. Let's talk about his game on Friday.
Well, I think all season Jesus has been an anchor for us. He's been able to sit in the back of the zone, and he's been able to deflect shots. And a lot of times he doesn't get a block. But just him being there, being able to affect the shot to where they don't be able to go straight up, straight down and get a good shot. They have to move. And whenever he's in there, we're a completely different team. And like you said, just rebounding the ball, being able to be there, and just being help side in the right positions, the right time, right place. Just extremely proud of him because his development from freshman year to now has just been night and day. I mean, he's worked his butt off, and I'm just proud of the young man.
Well, I can just say, I've only been here 2 years. His development from last year to this year is night and day as well. And just his wingspan, he just gets in the way of people with his wingspan and makes it difficult.
And that's the thing, he measures at 6'5". He has a wingspan of almost 6'10", and just very long, very big. And he's been able to increase his vertical. And the thing that a lot of people may not see, may not understand, that it's not in the stat line anywhere, is he's very coachable. Whatever he's told to do, he does his best to the best of his ability to get it done. And it's always yes, sir, no, sir. And if he has any questions, he'll ask, and just very coachable.
Well, we just had Caleb Landess and Kenyon Lanham on the show tonight, two seniors that don't really get a lot of playing time, but when they do, they have their role on the team.
Yes.
Talk about those two guys, what role they play, and what do they do in practice to help this team get better?
Well, but both the guys, that they come with the right attitude every day. And, whenever you're a senior and you don't get the amount of minutes as everybody else, it's extremely tough. And the thing that I'll harp on them from now until the end of eternity is the professionalism and the maturity that they have showed. They've been consummate team players, very unselfish. And I think to have a successful program, to sustain success, you have to have guys that are totally unselfish, that are willing to sacrifice their own individual success for the team's success. And with Caleb and Kenyon, they're willing to get on the floor. They're willing to go get every loose ball. And they're willing to do whatever's necessary for us to win. And I couldn't say more about those guys because there's been at times this year where I've had to call their number, and they've been able to come in, get a few buckets, get a few rebounds, a couple charge calls. Those things matter. And then without those glue guys, we wouldn't be successful.
Yeah, Kenyon coming in early in that Clinton game was huge.
Yes,
got
exactly.
2 charges right off the bat.
Yes, and hopefully he'll be able to do some more of that on Tuesday.
I told him he's channeling Colton Simmel.
Despite that 12-game winning streak that we have going on right now, is there any areas that we need to improve on before we try to go for that golden ball?
Well, I think the biggest one for us, if you look at the stats and you look at the areas of concern for me, is our rebounding. We have to have all 5 guys going to the boards, offensively and defensively, because, again, we're going to play some teams where I think we are bigger than them, but as we go deeper into the postseason, that's not going to be the case. So we have to have everybody on the floor rebounding. And if we do that, most times we're very successful, but whenever we only have 1 or 2 guys going to the boards, it's not successful.
Third year here, and so far this is your best as a coach and your best team. Other than the depth, what else makes this team so good and special this year?
I was thinking about that
Putting you on the spot.
The other
Not
night.
trying to get tears or anything either.
No, whenever you have several teams over time, you can look at the differences and the similarities and stuff like that. And whenever I think about this team is the fact from beginning of the season to now, they've never taken anything personal. And that's extremely hard to do in our program. Dakota was a manager for us.
I can tell you.
and I hold the managers to the same level of standards as everybody else. But just being able to handle constructive criticism and being able to be told, go home. Take today off. Today's not your best day. Go to the house. And be able to turn around, come back tomorrow and have a right attitude and come back and play well. And the thing that I try to teach these guys is life's not always going to work out the way you like it. You're not going to get what you want all the time. But, you have to turn a negative into a positive in most situations. Otherwise, you just maximize the mistake, and then you create larger mistakes. And this team is extremely good at just letting it roll right down their back. Next play, next play, next play. And that's really hard to do, at times, especially, at the end of games, crunch time. And I think when you look at the Guyman game, when we had so many turnovers late in the game, fourth quarter, and to be able to come down airball a shot or miss a shot or throw it out of bounds and be able to flip the switch and get into our pressure and get another turnover and be able to get it back. And that mentality is why we're sitting at 20-2 right now.
Well, we're going to take our final timeout. We're going to come back. We'll talk about Clinton, which is the districts on Tuesday night. The Boomers are hosting. You're listening to the Boomers Coaches Show on Z92.
My friend Teddy almost set his house on fire. He used a counterfeit, a fake wall charger. He had to go to the hospital.
My big sister Jenna's face turned bright red. She was just showing people online how to use a new cream. She still has the scars.
My brother's friend Billy had to jump off his motor scooter when it caught fire. He fell and got hit by a car. He broke his leg, blew his chances to play basketball in college.
My BFF Chloe was riding her bike and hit a ditch. Her helmet broke in two. Now, she has a brain injury.
There is a cost to buying cheap. Do you want to pay the price?
Real products are tested for safety. Protect yourself. Don't fall for fake products.
Visit ncpc.org/goforreal. Brought to you by the National Crime Prevention Council and the United States Patent and Trademark Office.
Email from school about the incident today.
Scary.
Tell me about it. Did you have any idea that was going on?
None. I mean, you saw Derek at the game last night too. Did you have a clue?
No, but teachers like me, parents, we don't always know as much as you guys do. Kids hear first about what's going on with other kids.
Half the time, it's rumors.
It can be hard to tell sometimes, but if you're ever concerned about a friend who's having trouble with alcohol, prescription drugs, bullying, violence, anything, you need to tell an adult. Mom or me, a teacher, coach, school counselor, someone you know and trust.
Dad, no kid is gonna tell an adult about that kind of stuff.
I get it, but if we don't know, we can't help. Speaking up about a problem, that's what helping a friend is all about.
For more information, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
And welcome back to Long Shots Bar and Grill. Brock Campbell alongside Dakota Wagner. Still here with Coach Jeff Williamson. And, Coach, we have districts coming up Tuesday. Got pushed back to next Tuesday because of the weather. Beat them earlier 79-63, and they have a three-headed monster in Latrell Bryson, Caden Powell, and Harrison Crumley. About 80% of their points come from those three guys. First game, Powell had 24, Bryson had 10, and Crumley had 13. What are the keys the second time around to get a district championship against the Reds?
Well, I think the number one priority is rebounding. Yeah, as we talked about that, because Caden Powell is an extremely talented young man, but we realize that he's very good rebounding the ball. He's not really a guy that's going to get the ball in the post and score 20 in the post, but he's great at getting in position and getting offensive rebounds. So we have to look and see where he's at, keep him off the boards, and eliminate their second chance opportunities. And again, the Crumley kid, we have to run him off the three-point line. He can shoot it, and once he starts hitting, I think earlier this year game he had 5 or 6 threes in one game. So we have to run him off the three-point line and not let him get comfortable. Make him put the ball on the floor. And then, of course, with Bryson, well, we just have to maintain, do the best we can because he can play. He gets the ball, he advances the ball, he pushes the ball, he can handle the ball, he shoots the ball. He's very, very good, very, very fast, very quick, just a supreme athlete. I think when he's out on the floor, he's probably the best athlete on the floor. So, again, we just have to stay in front of him. And if we can make him pull it up, shoot jump shots instead of getting to the basket, because as you see, the last game gave us some issues. Yeah. Well, get interior penetration, scoring at the bucket. I think as long as we can keep him on the three-point line and not allow him to get comfortable, I think we'll be successful.
Are you at all worried about the long layoff between the Altus games to the district game?
I was whenever I looked at our schedule, and then we started losing games and people forfeiting, and I started to get worried. But then I looked about how our team reacts to stuff. And, we really don't let anything get to us, because we talked about before the season started, not allowing issues or instances that we can't control negatively affect us. And as long as we stay focused, maintain our goal, we'll be successful. And if you look at our season, through all the distractions, everything going on, all the changes, we've done a very, very good job of that. I'm very proud of our guys. So, well, we practice hard, like we were saying during the break. But we went hard today for 90 minutes, and we ran for about half of that. I mean, we still get up and down the court, and this time of year, especially with layoff like that, we'll roll it out. We'll go up and down, like full scrimmage for 32 minutes. And, of course, no referees, but we go at it. And I think now's the time. It's a delicate balance between less is more, keeping, legs healthy, but then also staying in shape. You have to do what you have to do at times.
Well, Coach, congratulations on the regular season, finishing the way you did. And
thank you.
Let's keep this wagon on the right track and keep rolling here.
Exactly.
And that was Coach Jeff Williamson, and we're going to keep it right here, Dakota. We've got, districts coming up Tuesday night, like we have illustrated. 6 o'clock for the girls' game. We'll be on about 5:45-ish, somewhere in there for the tip-off show, and then girls tip at 6 and the boys to follow. Girls, Madison Gartrell said it quite nicely tonight. You're 0-0. Forget about your losses. Forget about the streak that you've lost, your 4 of your last 8. Forget about that. This is a team that the Woodward Boomers can beat. So they got to believe in that. And then also the boys, they know that they can go in and they can dominate this Clinton team.
As long as the girls, they come in with a positive attitude and they just give it all of their, as long as they can slow down Jefferson and Lovelace, it's going to be a really good turnout with the boys team. After Caden Corneli knocking down some really good deep threes, and smart by Coach Williamson to put Kenyon Lanham in front of Caden Powell, and that size difference.
Yes.
And they probably didn't even see it coming, but the way that the coaches are really outsmarting the other teams is why we're being successful, especially on the boys' side. And I think that it's going to be a really good turnout. If the boys can do what they did to Clinton last time we played them, then we're going to have an easy ride to area.
Well, the Boomers will be hosting in Boomer Fieldhouse next Tuesday, so make sure you get to the Fieldhouse and support both of these teams as they start their journey in the postseason play. So with that, we're going to go ahead and wrap things up. I want to thank my guest on the show tonight, Kloey Marlatt and Madison Gartrell on the girls' side, along with Coach Lloyd Vedder. And then also on the boys' side, Caleb Landess and Kenyon Lanham, and alongside with Coach Jeff Williamson. I want to thank Dakota Wagner as well for doing a great job, and as usual. And also want to thank High Plains Tire for being our sponsor, where your dollar goes further, and so do your tires. Until Tuesday night for postseason basketball in districts here at Boomer Fieldhouse, this has been the Boomers Coaches Show on Z92.